Wait a second. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to what I'm calling my book tour series, where I'm discussing my book, Dear Father, I'm Yours, a letter of my life to God. And basically, as I said in my previous videos, it's just me and God casually talking about my life, and pretty much God is responding back to me with his word. And today I have my friend Brittany with me. So that's my little quick little party dance. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. And yeah, I'm just gonna, jump right in with picking your brain and asking you questions. So I know you said that the book convicted you. Can you elaborate on the ways that you were convicted? If you don't mind sharing, if you don't mind exploring that a little bit, touching on that a little bit.
I mean, do we mind being convicted at all? I don't think so, but here we are. For sure. Yeah, first off, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be part of this because as you know, the people don't know, but or maybe they will once they read the book. Um it was just in passing where like I just alluded to you writing a book and you basically saying, oh, somebody else did the same thing. And I was
Right.
like, oh, well, I mean, hey, if it happens, then it happens. I'm no prophet, but
Right.
God uses, God uses who he uses to get the word out. So
He used you.
I can use the vessel at that point.
Right.
But conviction. So there have been a few um parts in the book where I felt like, oh my goodness, like this is an area that I'm struggling in as well. So, because we're kind of in the same, well, we were kind of in the same career field.
Hmm.
And while we weren't doing exactly the same thing, we weren't working for the same people,
Hmm.
we did, we have had like mirroring experiences,
Right.
where there were things that were being promoted or things that were being like okay that in our heart, spirit, mind, we're like, that's probably shouldn't be participating in that. So
Right.
um yeah, so yeah, and then also being convicted, mostly because of everyone one thing that I was thinking about today is how everyone has a desire or everyone wants things, and particularly money. We want money because not a lot of people don't want it just for the sake of having it. A lot of people want it because it brings them a comfort.
Right.
It gives them it's like a way of providing for yourself. And
Hmm.
because of that, because that's what makes the world go round, a lot of people, including myself sometimes, we jeopardize or we compromise in some areas
Yep.
make make that dollar. And
Yeah, Lord.
so in I mean it's so much in here that I probably will get the chapters mixed up. But there have been a lot of instances where you would do things because you're hired to, but you realize that you are depending more on your employer than you are on the source who created the employment for you to,
Right.
have those decisions. And I go through that a lot where I'm like, I really, I have to do this. I have to go to work. And granted, yes, like we signed on the dotted line that this is what we have to do.
Hmm.
However, we don't know until we are so like we allow the lack of I'm trying to find the right word, but basically you're trying to you're like, oh, well, I have to go to work because I have to get this, or I have to do this, or how am I going to pay my bills, and this, that, and the third. And it's like you're taking your eye off of the provider, and
Yeah.
you're putting your eye on
The
the
employer.
you can see the yeah, the
Yeah.
employer.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't
Man.
think that's idolatry because it's just, oh, I'm just showing up. Yeah, like you don't think of it at the time. You're like, I just need to, because it's
Right.
da, 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 da. But in all, like as you start making compromises and you let like how they treat you, you are compromising where like all your beliefs to make those things happen.
Right.
Is when it becomes like, oh, so who are you trusting in?
Right.
And
Who's your master?
yeah, and it's like you say God, but it's like, are you
Mm-mm.
sure?
And
Like
they,
in that moment, yeah, like in that moment, you're not trusting Him. So
right.
that is one thing that I definitely felt convicted of. And then one thing that I recapped on when I was going through this before this meeting was the fact that you started off the book as He equipped me.
You better, boy, don't have me throwing my house shoe.
Please don't do that. But no, seriously, like we forget, and we've talked about this over the phone. I think even though we probably didn't talk about the chapter itself, it was
Right.
about how if only people knew how messed up people in the Bible were, but God still chose to use them.
Yeah.
Because we, I wouldn't say that they were all God had, but in a way, they were all God had, and if he's an all-knowing, all-seeing God, he knew that the characters that he had
Right.
were going to be interesting characters to use. However, um, he applies that to us too because he
Right.
knows that we are like, but God, I really want to do this. I'm a creative. I love fashion. I want to do this. I want to be on the big screen and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but um, being being in those circles. I mean, in circles in general, where there's just prosperity upon prosperity upon
Right.
prosperity,
Right.
you don't know how a lot of those people got there. And people confuse those things with fruit when in actuality, you don't know if that's
Fruit
whether
or not.
fruit of it. Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
All
you
fruit ain't good. It's not good fruit.
no, exactly. And
Yeah.
like, just like so many people would say there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea. So,
See. Okay. All right. Let me sit up. All right. She preaching, y'all. Let me just sit on up. Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but this is your book, and it's just, it's just
I
waking.
know you're telling me stuff that's in here. I know. But it's been a minute. I try
Yeah,
not to keep going back because I'll try to change stuff. And it's
yeah.
it's too late for that. I don't want to keep I told my friend I'll try to revise and revise and revise. So yeah, just let me I'm going to the side now. Okay. So yep, a good
Yeah,
idea, a God idea. Okay.
and this book is, I believe it's a God idea, especially because it's so candid. Like a lot of people may, think like, oh, this reading style, I'm trying to, I don't understand it or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like, if you pay attention to, like, context is key. So if you're reading from start to finish, you'll realize that this is like a candid, okay, this is how I'm reacting in the moment when
Yeah.
I'm talking to God. And most of the time, when you are interacting with him and he's talking back, it's going to be a lot of, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the thought. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. You know what
Mhm.
I'm thinking. Okay, I'm
Right.
gonna keep going.
Right.
And excuse me. And so that's one thing that I like, the way you were talking in here is how I be talking to God too. So it's just like, you know,
It's real. It's
yeah.
relatable. It's not like I say, it's not stuffy. It's
Mm-mm,
not like okay, me and God just that's how we talk. You know my personality.
mm-hmm.
So it's in here.
Mhm.
It's no, okay, let me make it prim and proper so that the people that no, God was like, we stripping down all that. We're not doing that. We are being character in the flesh.
Mhm.
Not let me back that up. I want to say in the flesh, but in my spiritual way, we're being Laterica, not
Mhm.
trying to be all prim and proper and use big words where you have to, well, let me go find this word first before I keep going. I don't know what she just said there. Like,
Mhm. And it definitely not sounding like a deacon at a church with
yeah, preaching to you.
father guys and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not God, but I
Right,
would think that God wants to know that we know what he sounds like.
right,
So if, as long as you are talking to him and you're being respectful, but you're being honest,
right,
because a lot of people are like, oh, like growing up, you probably have had this experience too. Whenever you have a question for God, and people are like, well, you don't question God. And it's like, but why not? Because
right,
he's you like my thing is if he's not afraid of us, why would he be afraid of our question?
right. Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
so and he's the only person who you can go to and actually get an unbiased answer. Like
Right.
he's too holy for that. Like why would he,
He
be like, oh
created
my God.
us. Like,
It's
he
like,
already know we're thinking, Brittany. So if I'm sitting there like, I'm scared to ask you this, he know I'll have a question up here.
mm-hmm,
So why not say it out loud? Ask him so I can know what to do, so I can know how to proceed. Like I'm stuck. Why stay
exactly,
stuck? That's
exactly,
that's crazy. So
exactly.
yeah,
And it's just like he knows that he wants us to come to him whenever we sin and repent. Like he knows that we messed up, but he wants us to come first.
right,
So it's the same thing with questions. Like I know you have the question, just ask me. I'm
right,
not going to make you I'm not going to step into your free will that I gave you
right,
and be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question. I already know what you're thinking. And it's like, no, I want you to want to come to me.
right, right.
So yeah,
That's part of having a conversation,
mhm,
asking questions, getting a response. You speak, God speaking, more of Him speaking, really. But in order for
mhm,
you to walk in obedience, to me, you need to hear more of Him instead of you chatting up or complaining or whatever the situation may be. I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying when we talk to Him, sometimes we come to Him complaining.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, oh, here we go, Lord. What's going on? Like I said, what we doing? What? Like when I was talking about my bank account. So,
You
you
already know
see what I see,
that
huh?
it's dwindling. I need like, and you know what I have to do. So it's like in those moments, yeah,
Yeah,
like, and that's the convicting part. Like
yeah,
those moments are when I feel like he's like, okay, but regardless of that, you still know that I'm not gonna play you right. Like I'm not, I know what you need,
yeah, yeah.
but
And
and
in me asking those questions, which I still find myself asking now, because it's interesting and very challenging now.
mm-hmm,
And I'm like, okay. But
mm-hmm,
then he tells me, what are you missing? Like he asked me like pretty much asked me, or what are you missing? All
mm-hmm.
your needs are met though. So like seriously, Brittany, like, and I'm like, okay then. It's like one of those,
Mm-hmm.
you get, he pretty much put me in my place without being aggressive about it or mean about it, but it's like you're right. What, I'm not missing anything. I don't, all my needs are met. I'm eating every day. I have a place, all those things. So I'm like, all right, so yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
Terica, let God be God. You're not God. You trying to get back out there and be in control again. That's
Yeah.
ultimately be in control again. Let's just call it what it is. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I'm in doing that, I know, I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. It's gonna be less time with him. I'm gonna start sprinkling him throughout. Oh, what is some a quick thank you, Lord? All right, I'm taking off. I got this now. You done what you did, God, but I got it now. This, we good. You move on to the side. I got it. Child,
Can you
if
stop
I don't
knowing
sit
me?
down, huh?
It's like, can you stop knowing me, please? Like,
Yeah.
and, and that's the part that you're like, okay, God, but what if I'm not like that though? And he's like, but I know. That's why I need to read that out of you real quick. Like, let me read it out.
Yes.
And then it's not like you're gonna remain this way forever. It's just until that is gone,
Hmm.
until that humility is like there.
Solid. As
Yeah,
much,
until it's
yeah, solid
solid,
as can be. Yeah.
regardless of the situation, you are still like like you are at my feet,
Yeah. Yeah.
knowing your place and knowing what I can do and that contentment is important because that is what he's trying to do with me in particular because I'm just like, man, God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I really just want to, not have to worry about this, not have to worry about that. And he's like, the whole time you're worrying, you're still, I mean, let's be clear. I'm not missing a meal. I'm not missing a meal. My bills are paid. I may not have a lot, but I have what I need. I have a place to lay my head. All those
Yeah.
things. And, even if a little, like the last paycheck I just got, 21-year-old me or younger me, past me, probably would have been distraught about this. But a lot of times I'm just, like, I've just been feeling the feels of like count the cost. Like, what is the cost really?
Hmm.
Because a lot of times, especially in my time working, I would calculate how much money I make a day. And I'm like, so you tripping that you about to miss out on $50
Mm.
gross. You missing out on $50 gross and you mad because you can't go to work. Or they're like because based on the weather Monday, this
Yeah.
is being recorded, but like we're having like a cold front happening and in Texas people they don't know how to drive. They barely know
Yeah.
how to drive when it's regularly just weather.
Right. 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 Right.
But when there's ice on the floor, ice on the ground, it's best that they just call it out and be like, don't nobody come in. So, if before when I was working from home, that was not a problem. As long as the
Right.
light was on, I could clock in. But
Excuse me. Excuse me.
because I have to go on site now, I have to go actually into an office. Um, they can say, okay, the office is closed.
Hmm.
Nobody can come in. So I'm over here and counting the costs. Like that's one day. But then I'm like, that one day though. You really think you really think you're gonna be out? You really think you're not gonna have what you need? So I'm over here looking at it and I'm like, you know what? Let me stop tripping. Honestly, Monday I made like if they do, I'm just gonna await the notification and just probably roll over and go back to sleep
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and then even if I am up, like, okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do it? I don't know. Like
Well, how's that gonna solve anything?
point. That's the point. And it's like I could either do that or I could be like, okay, God, you knew this was gonna happen.
Right. I
So
trust you.
Yeah, I trust that you're gonna provide this. You knew like this is no fault of mine.
Yeah.
Also made me realize because I asked about this, I was like, in case this does happen, because they were talking about it all week, well, not all week,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday of last week or this week. And they were like, well, we don't know if they will cover, like, pay you, even though it's not your fault. When I found out that they don't pay you, even though it has nothing to do with you, like you didn't
Right.
call out, they
Right.
said coming in. That was just I feel like that was I wouldn't say it was God's way of letting me know, like, you're relying on the wrong thing. You're relying on the wrong people. Like, even if they could do that for you, they're still finite in what they can do.
Right.
I made the resources that they're using to give you, even if they could provide, I have to be the one to give it to them first. And I'm like, God, you know what? I'm sorry.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down, Brittany. Yep.
Basically, it's like if I and we think that we to get into the Bible, like to think that like whenever we're reading, like Jonah, for instance, and how he threw a whole temper tantrum when
Mm-hmm.
when God did not destroy Nineveh. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, so there's this animation show that came on when I was little, and God talked to him the same way. Wasn't trying to do that. God talked to him the same.
Okay. Don't.
It's like whenever you put a thumb up, it'll do that. But anyway, so um when he was like, no, you were supposed to do, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, so you're mad that the people that I made, you're mad that I am giving them salvation, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving them another chance, that
Mm-hmm.
they had a change of heart. I told you to tell them to turn away and to come to me, to repent.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what I was going to do because I will destroy you. I will destroy y'all.
Yeah.
And because they did that and said, I'm sorry, you really think that God was going to be like, nope, too late. If he didn't do that with you,
Right. Right.
because he could have said, okay, no,
Yeah.
you're too flawed for me
Yeah.
to even like to get you together. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna stay in the belly of the whale forever.
Right. Right. Nope. He didn't. He didn't. Yeah.
And
Mm.
instead, he was like, are you angry? He was asking like whenever God asks questions, it ain't for him.
No. Just
Never.
like he was like, "What are you missing? Like you, all your need, like."
He's like, I
It's like
know.
I
I just want to make
know.
sure
I know.
you know.
Do you know?
I want to hear it. Like, are you
Exactly.
missing anything?
No, I'm
Um,
not. I'm not.
okay.
It-
So,
So yeah. Oh man. Oh man. I'm gonna keep going. You probably. Okay. So yeah, it's saying 10 minutes now. Okay. So I'm trying to think how I should.
would you be able to do another link?
Um, maybe,
Okay.
maybe. Let me see. So I'm gonna have to skip that one.
Okay.
Um, so do you have any questions for me? And if you don't, that's okay. Do you have any questions for me? Or is there anything else you would like to say to anyone who may come across this video about the book? So either or both of them. If you don't have questions for me, you just don't have questions. If you don't have anything else to say about the book, you don't have anything else to say about the book. But I just want to throw
Mm-hmm.
those two questions in one out there. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'll skip that other one.
Okay.
So yeah.
I don't have a question. I just have more so like more comments to the book. So whoever comes across this, I think it is a very good, personable book to pick up because a lot of people have a fixed view of prayer, and they also have a fixed view of God and how he communicates with us. And I feel like if people knew that while he is a God of order for sure,
Right.
he is also a God who knows his children. So if he knows a certain way to communicate with you, he's gonna use that way
Right.
until he feels or until your growth with him becomes to where he's like, okay, I can now talk to you like this.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't lead you astray, as you can see in here. And it really is going to tell, like this book, one thing that I'm sure everyone's going to learn from this is that God will not leave you empty once he tells you to shred whatever is
Right.
not of him from you.
Mm-hmm.
Those things will be replaced. It may take a minute. It may not come when you want it to
Right.
come.
Right. 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 Right.
As, as the good song says, always right on time. And as much as we hate him being right on time, we would love for him to be early. We don't, I mean, he's not on CPT. We
Right.
know that.
Right. Right.
But when you need him, he's right there. And this is a perfect example of that. And I just really think that the fact that he is using this moment to like um he's using you to, and not just using you, because here's another thing. God doesn't use us. I don't think because that's very like, I don't know. I don't like the using part of it.
You
It's
don't
more,
like the term, the
yeah.
way, the
It,
verbiage.
I feel like it's more so God is like, I am working with you.
Partnering. Mm-hmm.
Partnering with you to make happen what I need to happen on this earth. Because
Right.
the prayer is, thy will be done on earth as it is in
It is
heaven.
in heaven.
How will it happen on earth if he is not using us, or if he is not having us as vessels
So, to
to
do it. Mm-hmm.
bring
Yeah.
that? And while I'm not perfect, none of us are. Um,
Exactly.
the moment that you do pay attention to and you do learn his voice, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's another thing this book will do. It will allow you to see his voice because there are not chapters, there are verses in here, scriptures in the back, which I think perfect text because some people they just need an introduction or they need help to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it will definitely prompt you to stay in the word of God, and also it'll open your eyes to like principalities and things that in different areas and
Mm-hmm.
industries that we think
Yeah.
are like the bomb.com. And it's
It's
like,
in here.
do y'all see what's happening in that industry right now?
But Brittany, oh my God.
It is not,
It's so much I want to say. It's so much I want to say. I'm telling
and
you.
it's not even like, it's most of them, it's not the people who are making it or bringing it to light. A lot of them are not even, I don't even think they are believers. So what's shaking, you know? Like there are believers who are talking about it, but now there are people who are just as worldly as the people they're talking about who are saying, "Oh no, that actually did happen."
It's so,
So
but that's deep. That's a lot there. That's a lot there. I can't unpack all of that because I want to go into how it has affected me and the way God had me exit,
mm-hmm,
when he had me exit,
mm-hmm,
how things just, if you went all the way to the end of this, when I said, wait, there's more.
mm-hmm.
Mm, Lord, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
If you
it's a lot to unpack. I'm trying to wrap everything up because I see it's saying 3 minutes. But yeah, I I can't do it in 3 minutes. So
I I'll just
Brittany,
say that if you
you
want to
have
know,
anything else? And then
yeah,
I'll just you
if you, I would just say this, if you need any other reason to know God,
yeah.
this could lead you. Like this could help you out. Not and with the I don't have my Bible with me,
Yeah,
but
yeah, of course the Bible is number one.
and it is.
Yes. Mhm.
And if you want to get like a deep dive into how it impacts another person in real time,
Yeah.
put them together, and I think you'll realize like God is better,
Yeah.
way better.
I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you so much. You know what? When we first started up until now, you had me wanting to, you know, pass out the plate and collect offering. We can't do that on here, people. But in closing, I hope that you guys have gotten something out of this and allow God to lead you. Obedience, obedience, obedience is more powerful than you will ever know. You have to
Hmm.
do it. You
Hmm.
have to do it to experience it. Don't try to, oh, well, let me see how such and such did it. Let me try to piggyback off them. Let me try to, no, you have to do it for yourself in order to reap the benefits of God's goodness. It can't, there's no comparison. There's
Hmm.
none, there's none, there's none. And I can't say that it's been easy either. So let me not just pretend like it's something easy, but um he's still refining me. So I'm gonna allow him to do that. But please just seek God above anything else and become closer to him and less close to the world. As
Hmm.
far away, I know we're in the world, but we don't have to be of the world and participate in the things that goes on in the world. But
Hmm.
that's it for now, people, and be blessed, be good, and that is bye for now.